this playing, there's some music in the background playing, so you'll be able to hear the strings there. Yeah. Make sure you, what's it called?
Exhale.
Exhale.
Alright, so good there. And we're going to have to fill the sound, and I need Q down. We're 2 over. Bring up Udicci.TV.
Is it the same type of market?
What's that? Alright, do you have this? This needs to be plugged into that to there. Right there.
Oh, yeah. You're on the wrong interface point. I logged in the same. No, it's not right. It won't work. Hold on, Chuck. It doesn't matter.
What's that? Not yet. What's that? Oh.
He's the executive producer.
We gotta use this one for tonight. Hold on 1 second there. Hold on.
All right. Are we
I told him I would.
queued and ready to go?
Yeah.
What's that? All right, are we ready? All right. And as soon as I get the countdown, I think we'll know whether we're live here. Mike, are we live?
We are live.
Are we good?
You're
We
on.
should know it about now. All right, well, welcome to Udicci.TV. We're about 4 minutes behind tonight, and a little bit of a feedback problem, but that's fine if you want to turn that down. We do want to thank you for coming out tonight, and I know many of you, this is your first time out, but feel free to continue socializing. Here's the deal. Any of you who have been on live TV before, every now and then you'll hear quiet on the set. We pretty much don't do that unless it gets to the point where we know that we can't hear anything up here. So please feel free to socialize and just enjoy while you're here. For those of you out in YouTube land and around the world, welcome to Udicci.TV. I think this is about our, 11th week, guys? And still working out some bugs. For those of you watching online, what? Yeah, I already cashed that. So we're all good there. So tonight, we've actually got a great show for you. Everything is progressing as planned. For those of you who tuned in yesterday for our afternoon cocktail, we were very excited to launch our second show. Tonight, what was formerly known as, the show formerly known as 15 Minutes, actually goes to 360 degrees and takes over the full hour episode, which really makes me happy. It just means I have a lot less work to do. But as you know, every week I kind of start with something. And this week I'd like to start with exhale. See, here's what's going on right now. Is I got to be honest with you. We've been working at this Udicci thing for about 4 years. And it seems every time we get ramped up, it's just like there's another barrier to overcome. And for any of you who have ever done anything worthwhile in life, you probably know that you sometimes come up against things that just feel like insurmountable barriers. And you start figuring out, what do we do with this? Now, tonight you're actually going to be future champ, right? Future champ. Huh? Champ, Willie Monroe, and you'll probably hear a little bit about what it takes to overcome and achieve that pinnacle of what you're trying to do. But the reality is, every now and then, the stress of the world can get to you, right? And last week we were on the show and we were talking about, what our goal is to really try to find the good in everything that is around us. It's easy to find what is bad, but if we could start looking only for what is good and start appreciating that in others and begin promoting that which is good, we'll start to see the change. And for those of you who have watched long enough, you know that Julio has the saying, be the change that you want to see. And that means we have to see the good. And last week we were talking about this, that sometimes when it comes up to just meeting people or situations, it's not always easy to see the good. And Jerry was here and like, well, what do we do in that situation? Because we're all so wound up. And he sits back, he goes, maybe we just need to exhale. So that's what I'm actually asking everybody to do today. I'm thinking I want to start by just simply exhaling. You see, lately the demands of my professional life have been such that I'm, quite frankly, just exhausted. It's infringing upon every part of my life, and I've been allowing that stress to get to me and eat up, and I thought I need to find a way to just stop. So what I really want to do is create a new habit in my life, and I'd like to invite you to create this habit with me. And really what I seek to get out of this habit is to let go some of that stress in life and really begin to find more joy. Now, for those of you familiar with our Take One program, that is exactly what we start talking about doing, is we want to make a difference in life. And we know that it is our habits that really give us the results that we currently have in life, which means right now that I have a habit that is creating stress. So I need to focus on changing that habit. And that's what we want to do, is we want to start saying, take one. And we always say, take 1 minute, take one moment before you speak or do any one thing and ask yourself, is this thing that I'm about to do or this thing that I'm about to say, is this going to lead to the results that I want in my life? And right now, I know because I have this stress that that's not happening. So I'm going to actually start a new habit, and I'd like to invite you to join me. And what it is, it's just this simple. I'm going to begin to take one moment each day, 1 minute. And whenever I feel that stress welling up, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to walk somewhere. Take a deep breath. And exhale. And I just want to let go of all of that stress and just breathe it out. But more than that, I'm going to make sure that when I exhale, I'm going to open my eyes. I'm going to train myself to find something that is good. I want to find that which can bring joy to life. So I want to start training myself that when I feel stress, let it go and find what is good. So I'd invite you to do that right with me right now. For those of you watching online, you'd be amazed at how simple just an exhale can do. But just exhale and look for what is good. Consider for a moment all the good things that you have in life. Because honestly, if we took an inventory of all the good that we had, maybe we'd start to realize that it wasn't all that bad. I mean, when I look at it, I know that I have the love of a beautiful woman. I've got 3 wonderful children that love me. I've got men that I am just humbled to call my friends. What more do we need in life? If that's not enough for us, what are we doing? So I simply, invite you to join me on this, new crusade to finding less stress in my life. And if you see me out on the road, and if you see that look on my face where I'm just like all wound up, just look at me and go, Chuck, exhale. I probably won't do it, to be honest with you, because at the moment I'll be so wound up, but just go, Chuck, exhale. Remember what is good, and I want you to point that out to me, and I'm okay. Hold me accountable to it, because that's something we believe. There is no way we're going to make a change in our life if we don't go about holding one another accountable. So each day, just going to take a little bit of time, whenever I feel that stress welling up, maybe walk outside into the backyard, take a deep breath, exhale, let it all out. Watch the squirrels run around. Listen to the birds. Try to hear a new song that is going on in life. Try to hear the joy that is actually around us. Find a new reason to smile. Look around, maybe see some children playing. Look around and just find a reason to smile, because it's all around us. And we can actually make a difference in our life if we choose to. So with that, I'm actually going to kick off tonight's show. And invite Tim up as we do every week. So come on up here, Tim. And we've got a few more people joining the audience. Let me grab our little seat here. What are you doing? You're coming to the wrong side. What side do you want to be on tonight? I don't care. All right, you be on that side. All right. All righty. Can I go backwards?
No? You need to go backwards?
All right, so tonight on the show, we've already actually introduced a little bit. We've got Willie Monroe on tonight. We've got some great things about some, I guess, drug prevention programs that are going on in Rochester. For those of you who saw the news last night and today, there is a direct correlation between the drugs in the city and the violence that we're seeing. I'm not saying that's what last night was. But, we have some real issues in our city, and that's what we're here to do. We work with nonprofit organizations, we work with for-profit organizations, and we want to start making a difference in life, and we know that begins right here in our own backyard. But we are a for-profit organization, and this is Tim. And I always like to do this for Tim. Say hi, Tim.
Hello. You're going to throw me under the bus again, typically.
I wasn't ready for
I was actually kind of looking, and I can actually read the stuff on the TV now. It's kind of good.
Yeah, that's actually, we made it a little bit bigger because Tag was complaining last week that it was really
Tag
too
needs to
small.
just get glasses.
And we're like, just go get some bifocals, would you? But we're not going to do that. But then we've got Mike behind the camera over here.
Let me turn my mic on.
Yeah, that'd be good. Mike turns his mic
on the mic.
All right, Mike, you're looking a little bit discombobulated over there.
I got it on the this Google camera thing, so.
Oh, okay.
We got
so
it
just
good.
a little up, back up. All right. So tonight, though, on our segment, actually, we're just going to do a little bit. We're actually in the mode where we're handing off the shows, and that's exactly what we talked about doing from day one. And actually, tonight, we're actually very excited that our show is only a half hour. Now, we're going to have to back up and probably start beginning at 7 o'clock, and we've got some other people filling in for those, again, the afternoon cocktail. But it's very exciting for us that we get to step back. And our segment, for those of you who watch, we really start talking about business-type stuff and some, leadership or what's kind of going on in the community. And tonight, our discussion is really about finding the best, or if you will, what is the best you can give? And I was talking with you about this and
over the week.
Over the past week there. I'm reading that book by John Maxwell. For those of you familiar with John Maxwell, sort of kind of the guru of leadership in the world. And what he was talking about is really trying to make sure that you're focusing on the best that you can give, right? And he brings up that Pareto rule, that 80-20 rule.
Right.
That 20% of our efforts actually
80%
of the result.
Yes.
Think about that. When you think about that, and Mike and I were talking today, and put that in perspective. If you're thinking, let's just have a 50-hour work week. Maybe one day we'll get back to that. But maybe we get down to like a 50-hour work week. That would mean so that would mean that 10 hours of our work
is actually
producing 80% of the results.
Yep.
Let that sink in for a little bit. 20% of the effort that you put into something produces 80% of the results. The not-so-friendly way of looking at that is that means we're wasting 80% of our time.
You're right. Yep.
All right, maybe not wasting, that's a bad way of saying it, but we're just simply not using it efficiently.
That's probably the busy work.
That's the busy work.
Right.
And that's kind of the exact point that John Maxwell is making. He says, before we all go on vacation, it's like, we can get a list of items, and it might be the Friday before we're taking off for vacation, and we could have a to-do list longer than we've had over the past 6 months, and we'll knock that off in the time that we give it. We will knock it off efficiently.
Yep.
There's a big word, and that was the perfect word, efficiently.
Yep.
The problem is we don't need to be efficient. We need to be effective.
Right.
And when we start identifying what is it our best that we're doing, and we can take that 20% target and we focus as much of our time as we can in that 20%, then we begin working effectively.
I think that's how the 4-hour work week actually talks about being able to cut back on your efforts. Talks about finding where you work the most effective way.
The 4-hour work week.
4-hour work week.
That's something Mike enjoys.
Yeah. There's no urgency here.
No urgency. 4 hours. Oh, I got to kick off now. That was
so. If anything, you guys should be learning from me.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. He's actually for 48 minutes a week. He gets 80% of what he's doing there. But so tonight, that's kind of what we actually wanted to do, is actually talk about what it is that is the best that we can do, if you will, and how do we go about creating environments that give us the capability to talk about our best, because that's not That's right. When you start talking about yourself and your team members, it's not always pleasant because sometimes it comes up against reality that we're not performing as well as we could be. So we've got to start trying to create that environment where you can have those conversations. And that's something that we want to do for anybody who's involved with our growth is creating an environment of trust, right? Where what we're really looking for is the overall goal that's on that. So I figure we kind of start with, we need to talk about what is our strengths, but we also need to talk about creating that environment. So what would you think we would do to create that environment where talking about things that are absolutely for our best, but are a little uncomfortable? What are some of the things that you could think of?
Obviously, having an idea of what needs to get done probably is the good place to start.
Right.
Being able to plan it and build the processes around it to support it.
So clarity. I'm thinking
and
more of the environment for the conversation, though.
Oh, for communication.
So, like one of exactly.
I see strengths and weaknesses. I didn't want to step on your toes.
Yeah. But so one of the things I was going to is, but you were saying it right, but on the different side. You were thinking operations. I was saying like setting the stage for that conversation, knowing what it is that you have to talk about. So obviously we didn't just come up here tonight without knowing we were going to be talking about this.
We didn't?
For those of you who paid attention to the messages throughout the week, no. So I knew what we were talking about.
It's always good when you know.
Right. And really we need to start really learning to trust the people on our team and believe that they're trying to do what is best for us.
Right.
So let's just open it up for discussion. What's our strengths and what are some of our weaknesses?
Well,
Sure.
Dead air.
we were talking earlier, and I said between Tim, my relationship with Tim, and my relationship with you, Chuck, would be I mediate or translate between you two probably better than you guys could ever, like in a way. Maybe not ever. That's
why we've got Mike the mediator, right?
Yeah.
For those of you who can't see what we're looking at here, this is everything we're supposed to say. So when Tim says he doesn't know what he's talking about, it's right there. It actually said, "Tim, say I don't know what you're talking about." But yeah, we actually so Mike, that's a great point. Mike is actually a bridge builder, right? Is a way of looking at it, and in many ways, Mike is legitimately an engineer. But he's right. He looks for. He doesn't really have any preconceived notions necessarily. He's kind of like a blank canvas when he approaches somebody, and he's able to try
instructions.
He's able to hear people
Right.
in a way that allows him then to turn to somebody else and go, well, I think that's what he's saying. It's almost like he's a psychologist without the psychology degree.
I was just going to say that's a scary thing.
Right. So that was one of the things we were talking about. Now, we talked...
Would you like to lay on this couch back here and tell me your thoughts, Chuck?
That's actually... Now, we are talking about this in the same way that, like, that's a strength that Mike has. He actually can... Where it's like, all right, I'm interested in this thing, and I actually want to learn. And that's really it. He's this curious guy, and the curiosity is what really helps him to draw out understanding. At the same time, as we talked about, that's the same thing that Mike would be sitting here going like, oh, I need to get this done. I wonder how that works. Look if we could work at that right there. Oh, look at this thing here, and if I could figure out how this works. And about 2 hours later, Mike's like, oh, yeah, this. Right? So it's one of those things. That's where a strength is a sign of a weakness.
Awesome.
But our thing is not to focus on the weakness; it's to focus on the strength,
right.
And that's the accountability mechanism. Is saying, yeah, I get it, I get that I do that, and how do we then, grow from there? That's your instruction thing,
Right.
That's your instruction.
The other
piece
side
that we
of it,
talked about, right? That's that piece.
Again, I'm going more the operational side. You're on the other side.
Now, this is what I had for you this morning. I'm like, Tim the developer. But here's what I meant by that. I was like really trying to think. I'm like, what is your strength? And it kind of hit me like, you're one of these guys that you can see a vision and you want to act upon that vision.
Okay.
I'm more of I see a vision and I just want to share it. I'm like, hey, let me show you this thing over there. Like, and people go, wow, let's do that. I'll be like,
Okay,
go. Right?
That's typically
You
the way
just,
it works.
you just want to sell. You just want to sell the vision.
I just want to sell the vision.
Yes.
That's all there is to it. I simply want to
That's why
sell
you're
the
a
vision.
salesman.
That's why I'm a salesman. I'm
Right.
a marketer, right? Of
course.
And that's what it is. And it's not. It's and
Sharing the story around the vision.
That's exactly right.
That's what the most fun part is, though.
Bingo. That's the most fun part of it. Except it's not. It's like so much
When your head,
work.
well, because your head's about to explode with all the information.
It's exactly yeah. And
The vision just keeps getting more and more refined, yet it keeps broadening. And to be able to
Oh,
tell
that-
that story is virtually impossible.
that was actually a piece Mike and I were talking about today. Is like really when you do see a vision, making sure that as broad as it is, that you keep bringing it back in narrow.
Right.
And the more narrow you can keep it, the easier the story is to tell. But
Absolutely.
for us, when we were talking about like that, really hit me though today. But you really are a guy who can see a vision, whereas he can understand a person.
Right.
You can understand a vision, and then you go about trying to make that vision come true.
Not always very well, but yeah.
But just the one of the strengths is seeing the
Yep.
vision, and I was really trying to really understand what that is. But I guess I wasn't looking tonight for our conversation necessarily to have all of the answers.
So your play on words developer is not necessarily meant to be that I'm going to be behind a computer the rest of my life.
Never.
Okay, I hope
Right,
so.
right. No,
But I have to knock you
but
out of
wouldn't
school.
but honestly, like,
Yeah.
wouldn't a developer need to see
Yes.
the vision?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
Right?
I mean,
And it was-
that's what
when it
you
hit me,
have
I'm
to
like,
do. Is,
Right.
Logic minds. You know,
Yeah,
it's-
but that's the thing. Like, you've got the ability to take creativity. You can see it logically, quickly.
right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I mean that's it, like so basically now we just need to go about like refining those skills and really probably identifying a few more. And
I would
wasn't-
hope that there's more than just the
no, there's one. There's one skill set that we all have. That's all there is to it.
That's it. I'm done.
That's it. But again, I wasn't looking tonight to necessarily go ahead and have the full, complete conversation, as much as just to talk about that we need to have these conversations.
Right.
And we'd like to invite other people to kind of have those conversations, other people who want to grow, and just know that we want to simply find a way that we can find those strengths and work with one another to find what is it you're good at, what is it you're passionate about, and actually grow together on that. So that's kind of where we are kind of quickly tonight. And again, the show's not about us. It was never meant to be about us.
Right.
It's kind of why, Udicci, for those of you who don't know the reasoning behind the name, that's okay, neither do we.
Yeah. That's part of that vision thing.
That's part of that vision
We got to
thing.
develop that.
But and honestly, for a long time, it's you and I, right? I mean,
Yes.
we're a technology company, UI, but it always was meant to be about you first. And that's so tonight we do have to get to 360 degrees, which we're kind of happy about. But
It's Real Talk 360, Chuck.
Real
360 degrees,
Real Talk 360.
360 degrees. All right. So one of the things, just kind of wanted to do before we were done, kind of wrap up our week here and kind of some fun
Our
stuff
week,
that's going to
yeah,
be going
been a
on.
fun week so far.
It's been a great week.
It's been a really good week.
That is. And do you have the Lexington and blue logos ready to go up for our transition? Because we're going to go about doing a transition here, and we're real sneaky about the way we do transitions here. We show our sponsors, and then we put new people in the seats. It's great. It's like magic. So Friday night, my wife and I are going to this Monroe County Hospital wine tasting event. That's kind of a great event. For those people in Rochester who don't know what Monroe County Hospital is, it's a, what's that? Monroe Community Hospital. I told, actually it says Monroe Country, so I don't know if that helps at all. It's actually misspelled, but so Monroe Community Hospital. And
about it.
for those that are not familiar with it, it's actually a very, it's a fantastic organization that we have here in Monroe County. It's slightly, ever so slightly, a taxpayer thing, which is supported, but very minimally. It actually relies upon a lot of donations, if you will. But it's a long-term care facility and rehabilitation facility here in Rochester. It's over on Westfall Road in East Henrietta. Big facility over there. Actually, amazing building. Have you ever actually been in there?
I've been in there a couple times, but
It's an amazing building.
A big building, yeah.
It's just the decor inside and whatnot. That's pretty cool. So we've got a wine tasting there. Which so for those of you who have ever had family members who had to go through any kind of major rehabilitation in their life or a catastrophic incident and needed care for the rest of their life, that's the type of facility that you're just happy to have in your community. So we get to go and kind of support that.
Right.
Jerry Falzone
Tomorrow night
at the South Wedge Mission. He's got Liar's Moon, right?
Liar's Moon.
Yes.
That's
Liar's
correct.
Moon is his new CD. That's pretty exciting, and I know. I guess we're going to be working with Jerry trying to do a stream for him sometime in
June 6th.
June
I
6th
believe.
is what we're targeting
Okay.
right now. So for those of you who've not heard, Jerry's actually a pretty fantastic singer-songwriter, so that's pretty fun.
Yep.
Really exciting, and again, because we like to say that she's on our team now, and Amanda, hi if you're watching, I know you're not because you're performing tonight. Amanda Ashley start her CD party, and we'll be going to that also, but now this is Sunday afternoon, beginning at 5, it's one nightclub. Aaron's Alley?
Ryan's Alley.
Ryan's Alley. One nightclub, look it up, it's in Rochester, 5
Alexander,
o'clock. Yeah, over right by
Alexander,
Alexander, yeah. The CD is named Metamorphosis. Metamorphoses. Metamorphosis.
Right.
And I gotta tell you, do we have any of her music? Can we plug it in as we do a little transition, maybe? Yep. Why don't you look that up while we're doing that? And I was really, I mean, she's really got a good sound. And this is, she said that like this CD for her was her. She feels like this was her coming into her own.
Oh, cool.
So that was really kind of cool. Highlight next week, David Michael Miller down here at Blue.
Tuesday night,
7 o'clock. You have to be here. All right, this is our Quiet on Site. Everybody, you have to come here next Tuesday. For those of you not familiar, next Tuesday, David Michael Miller is doing his CD release party called Poison Sip. Two drummers, two slide guitars, and a partridge and pear tree. But
And David.
actually,
Yeah,
the
of
world
course, David.
famous Campbell brothers, Chuck
and Derek
are going to be
playing
slide guitars
together.
I mean, 10-piece band. And I am telling you, some of the most phenomenal music that I've heard in Rochester. Just absolutely phenomenal. We will be streaming it live. We're going to be doing quite the production down here. But I would highly recommend you come down to Blue, you check it out, because the music is absolutely incredible.
Yes.
And of course, the fight. For those of you who like boxing, Mayweather and Maiden. Medina, I don't even know. Last I heard, Mayweather didn't even know his last name either, so we're good. Yeah, we're kind of good on that. So that's coming on here. That's going to be at Blue also Saturday night. Come on out to Blue if you enjoy boxing. It'll be available out there. And now we're going to go ahead and go into our transition mode. So cue Lexington and let me know when that's cued, and we will go from there, and we will switch over to 360. All right.
We are
on Lexington?
Yep.
All right, so Lexington Federal Credit Union, corporate sponsors of Udicci.TV and all good that's going on in Rochester. Lexington's been serving Rochester since 1959, and about 3 years ago they set a campaign and a new mission statement, and their mission was to begin to serve beyond their reach, one of the 3 key points there. And they've begun a campaign to actually work with charities in their home, or in the Rochester area, and help people grow here in Rochester. We're actually reaching right down to the people who are like literally check cashing right now, whoever have a desire to have home ownership or a college degree or maybe their own small business, and Lexington Federal Credit Union wants to help people grow and achieve their dreams. Of course, each and every week right now we are down hosted at Blue Bar and Grill, and we invite you to come out every Thursday night in the summertime. Is Bourbon, Bikes, and Barbecue. Very fantastic barbecue that's going on down here. As we mentioned earlier, the Mayweather fight is this Saturday.
Saturday at 9 o'clock.
Saturday at 9 o'clock it begins. And, oh, by the way, we have new weekend hours starting here, as well as a Mother's Day brunch. So if you're looking for something to do for Mother's Day, or if you're looking for a great place to start some early breakfast, come on out to Blue Bar and Grill. And with that, I see some new chairs coming. That means it's time for me to get off the stage. All right.
And it's time for us to get on the
It's
stage.
time for you to get on stage, which means that we don't know our tag is.
Yeah, we tag, you know tag.
Okay. He's going to show up at some point, won't he?
We'll show up eventually.
Why do you have a nice chair?
Why do you
I already got a nice chair.
Well, I don't see your name on it.
It is. It's my name's on the right side. Everything's on the right side. Is
Oh, you're right. Made in China.
there you go. Tag.
We're doing selfies already.
We're doing selfies already. That's what we do.
Is it rolling? Are we on?
Are we on?
Whenever you're ready, yep,
Okay.
you are on, sir.
Hold up. Let me
Straight
just
ahead.
get straight ahead right there. Camera 2. The middle. The middle camera.
I already see numbers on them. How'd you count that number 2?
1, 2, 3.
What about?
If you want to get all crazy, tag. You could do 1, 2, 3.
What? Why
Either
can't
way.
it be 131 or 132?
Well, that's the way you would do it, wouldn't you?
I would do it that way.
All right. On that note, we're on. We're live.
We are live.
We
sir.
are live. Tag. We're live. We're live. We're not doing the Facebook. Call
I'm
yet.
not. I'm just
We're
lowering the
not doing
volume.
Facebook call out yet.
Can't
Let me
lower the
lower my
volume?
volume. Let me lower my volume because
Last time
that would
was-
be just rude. That would be rude.
Oh yeah, you don't want to be rude.
Never. You're the rude one. I'm the.
Oh yeah, but I'm fine with being rude.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I'm cool
It
with
fits
that.
you.
It's in my nature.
It fits you. It fits you. So, welcome back to the show. Welcome back to Real Talk 360, which for any of us or any of you guys that have been following us, you know that the show has gone from 15 minutes with Julio and Tag to 180 degrees. And now this week we are starting off with Real Talk 360. You want to tell them why we've been changing so much? Why we change the name every other day?
Because we make this damn show.
That's right, because we make the show. So
Shit.
we started off, the Latinos in the building only got 15 minutes to begin with. And then we figured, you know what? No, we got to talk to the suits.
I felt like I was being suppressed.
Yeah, we were being suppressed. Oppressed.
Oppressed.
Yes.
Suppressed.
Yes, that's okay. It's all right.
Pressed. How about pressed?
Yeah, we were being pressed. So we had to go to the suits and we said, you know what? 15 minutes is not enough because we like to talk. So we need a little bit more than 15 minutes. So they came back and said, how about we give you guys 30 minutes?
Oh, we took 30 minutes.
30 minutes. We took the 30 minutes.
took the 30
we turned the
minutes.
30 minutes into an hour and a half. Remember that one day? 30 minutes was like an hour and a half.
Really?
Yeah, hour and 15 minutes. But now they figured, you know what? If they're going to take an hour anyway, let's give them an hour, and then we can say we gave you the hour, so we're no longer taking it. So now we're going to be here for 2 hours.
No. I got things to do.
All right, so we're not going to be here for 2 hours. We'll be
I
here
got
for
things to
1 hour. 1 hour total. We got a great show for you guys tonight.
Today's gonna be the best show.
Today is going to be the best show that
Do I
we've
hear?
had.
Is there? Am I on the speakers or do I hear an echo? Is it me? Is my voice carrying?
No, it's just that speaker.
Oh, okay. Because
But
I
I think
never
it's
heard.
bouncing. It's bouncing off the
Yeah,
wall.
'cause I never heard that before.
Is it bothering you? We can lower it.
No, I'm fine. I
was like,
just
we'll
wanted
lower
to know what the hell was
We'll
going
lower
on. No, it's fine.
I'll say, but so welcome to the show. Welcome to Real Talk 360 with Julio and Tag, and we're gonna do what we do every week. We're gonna do it as best as we possibly can, and if we mess up, it doesn't matter.
Fuck it.
We're still gonna do it, right? We're still gonna do it, so it works. So this week right here, this week right now, May 1st, we're gonna start off and we're gonna kick off the month on a brand new great note with a 1 hour show, right?
60 minutes.
60 minutes, and we're gonna have guests.
How many?
We're gonna have 3 guests. Three guests.
Three
Guests. 3 guests.
Can you spell Gus?
Guests. No apostrophe on guests.
Okay.
And what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off by introducing the local
I was just gonna ask
hometown legend, the champ, Willie El Mongoose Monroe Jr. So we're gonna start off introducing you to him. A lot of you already know him. From there, we're gonna move on, and we're gonna talk about a sensitive issue that's going on in our community because we are
in many communities.
in many communities, not just ours, but it seems like ours is
This
being
is just
affected.
this is
a
what's
lot.
one story out of many, but
Yeah.
obviously this one hits home.
Yeah, it hits home. So we have Peggy Carbonell and we have Lisette Castro, who are here with Trillium Health Outreach Program
You know
or
she's
project.
related to Fidel, right?
She's related to Fidel?
Yeah.
All right, wow.
Right, Lisi? You related to Fidel?
Well, actually, hold up.
She backstroked over
My,
here.
my mother's last name is Castro. So we're related somehow too. Somehow or another, we're related too. So we're going to have them on the show. And then, of course, we're going to have our future co-host / having our own dating segment.
Yeah, the
Veronica Ronnie Dasher.
Can you tell her to be nice to me
From
today?
See, you just let me. Can I talk?
I'm just saying, tell her to be nice to me today, man.
Smoochingfrogs.com. The frogs don't smoke; they smooch.
No, frogs do smoke.
Smoochingfrogs.com.
You ever seen a
She's gonna
frog
come
smoke?
up in here. She's gonna poke Tag in the belly, and Tag's gonna do his signature. Yeah, you gotta do that. See, so we got that. But welcome. Thank you for coming out. And we love the fact that you're here another week with us. Chuck said earlier, 11 weeks. 11 weeks. 11
Time flies.
weeks.
You know, it's only because we're having fun doing this. Because if I wasn't having fun, I would have ended it at week 2 or 3.
But did you ever think that
But, you know,
it wasn't going to be fun?
No, I mean, I make it fun. I don't know about you.
That's what I'm saying. And the reason why I invited you was because I knew it would be fun if you're here. So that's why we're brothers.
I'm tired today.
We look out
I know if
for
I
each
look
other.
a little out of it, it's just because I'm a little
Well,
tired.
I'm a little sick, so
Oh.
things happen. Oh, yeah, a little bit.
No.
Just a little bit. Don't worry about it. I'm good. So the new name came about as a result of, first of all, in the hood. You know, that's where we're obviously from, even though we don't always have to live in the hood to be from the hood, but we always hood no matter where you take us. Real talk is a slang. It's basically saying, hey, we're talking the truth. It's real talk. 360, if you look at 360 degrees, it's 3,600. 3,600 is how many seconds there are in an hour. So
All the way around the clock, 1 hour.
Why not? Real Talk 360 it is. So this is where we're at. So now that you know that, we're going to do our
Real quick,
segment.
I think you ordered a picture.
I did. She should be, it's right over there. It's right over there. Chris.
Oh, Chris.
Can you do me a favor?
Hook a brother up.
Please?
Hook 2 brothers up.
Thank you.
No. I don't want the napkin. I want that picture.
No, the picture.
We didn't want you.
And yes, because it's our
I mean, you
show.
can come over here and say hi, but we
I
want
blow
the picture.
my nose on the air because Tag hates it when I leave to blow my nose. So I'm blowing my nose on the air.
Yeah, you know what?
No, that's mine.
He did that.
No, that's my picture.
You got the next one. Don't worry.
You got the next one.
You got the next one. Don't
you
worry.
got the next one. No, we don't want to show the name.
We don't want to show
They're
they're not paying us
They're
yet.
not paying us yet. So we don't show the name until they pay us. So we're drinking an off-brand beer.
He already put us on. Real Talk 360.
Blue Barn Grill. Oh, there we go. So
We're already
we
on.
have somebody that's actually doing good stuff on Facebook. Tim just posted us on Facebook. That's a great thing. So what else is going on Facebook right now, Ty? What's going on?
Romeo, can't wait to go back to Yankee Stadium this year, watching the game.
Well, that's real.
We're supposed to be going with him, hopefully, see Tanaka play.
Oh, yeah. So Tanaka and Jeter.
Well, we're talking about going to the preseason game for the Buffalo Bills. I mean, the Giants.
Watch yourself.
That came out wrong, too. That came out wrong, too. I
almost threw up in my mouth.
I meant to say Giants and Steelers.
Giants and Steelers. I
they
like
have a
that.
preseason game, week 1, and at the same time, we're hoping to catch a Yankee game.
I like that. Robert Cabrera, my boy Robert, fireman for Rochester Fire Department, is just completed his second room. All hardwoods.
Nice.
He's doing it himself. Looks nice. Good job, Robert, if you're watching. But you're probably doing your floors.
Guess what?
What?
7 days to draft time.
7 days to draft time.
7 days to draft.
I don't want to hear it. Your sister's been on Facebook a
Oh
lot.
my God.
So Melissa Vega is feeling
Hashtag you're overdoing it.
Feeling-
Hashtag I'm glad you had fun.
She's feeling so loved and encouraged right now. God places the right people in our lives at the right time, which is true. I believe that. I agree with that. People that we encourage, be encouraged and uplifted by, and those that motivate us to be our best selves. I like that. That was good. The last week in Puerto Rico thing, like, look at me, you're hating. I didn't like that.
She was all over the place.
I didn't like that.
Ass mess.
Bobby Lamar Lee is throwing some throwbacks on here. Bobby Lee, old school DJ from The Rock. Mary Velasquez. She moves to New York, and then she's complaining, this is why it takes me an hour to drive 9 miles.
Que te manda. You know what the hell is going to happen.
Rochester traffic is never that bad. You should have stayed in Rochester. You
Where's
moved to
Pete
New
at?
York.
Where's Pete at?
You're done. Oh, Pete's in Florida.
Oh, okay.
That's at the Everglades.
Okay.
So Pete Monetto shouts out. He's trying to come through to the fight.
Yeah, I seen that.
This Saturday. He's in Florida enjoying
Oh,
himself.
my boy
That's
Ty.
what's up. What's
Ty
up with
Furman. He's a good buddy of mine. I got into a couple of his fantasy
Oh, that's
leagues.
Kelly Rowland.
He's in the picture with Kelly Rowland.
Kelly Rowland. Show the camera that one. You gotta
Kelly
show that
Rowland, my
one.
boy. He's
I'm like, that's a fly chick.
My boy.
It's Kelly Rowland.
I took a picture with Kelly Rowland. I was like, damn, you don't got married, but
I know.
yeah, man,
I wish he did.
You better have some deep pockets for that.
And he better invite us if he did. Sabrina Sawabang is got 3 days, 22 hours, and 23 minutes and 5 seconds until California. She's got it broken down to the
Damn.
exact second. I think Sabrina's excited. Congrats. Enjoy yourself.
You know what? I gotta give a shout out to my boy Sight. He's the one reason why I listen to DKX in the morning.
Yeah, the only reason. Tyreek is cool.
Yeah,
Sight.
but Sight, you
No,
notice they
Sight,
always
that's
had a
my man.
sidekick. That remember they had Bird. Bird.
Yeah, Bird.
Bird was
yeah.
the comic relief, and they
Yeah.
always had somebody. But Sight, I've known Sight for years, and he just posted a little saying right here. Remember, love is nothing without action. Trust is nothing without proof. and sorry is nothing without change.
Look at DJ Sight getting
Hashtag,
real
man.
deep and philosophical on
Hashtag
us.
for you.
Sight, what's going
That's
on?
not 2 fingers. That's hashtag you
that's
doing
my man.
it.
See, what I love about it.
Maybe you can scratch that a little bit.
That's Josh. That's Josh from
Josh, that's how I know him,
That's Josh. But that's DJ Sight. Mad respect, my brother. And that's basically it. Other than that, I mean, George Ortega likes Match.com. I mean, he works at a bar. He's a bartender. Why are you on Match.com? Well, then again, no, I know why. He works at Latino bars.
You know,
I don't want to. Yeah, no, you go to
I'm
Match.com.
trying to ignore all this, but
What?
every time I'm going through all this, everybody keeps talking about what's been going on in the city with the shootings and
Oh
everything.
yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
We're gonna talk about. We have to talk about
We're
that.
gonna talk about that. But hashtag stop the violence. Hashtag self-destruction.
Hashtag, what the hell is wrong with y'all?
Hashtag
Really? Like, really?
Hashtag
Really?
take it back to the 80s where we used to fight it out.
Duke it up. And
We
then when
used
you're
to fight
done,
it out.
have a beer with them.
Yeah, exactly. We'll fight it out, and then he'd be like, yo, you got me. Let's go have a beer.
Yeah, don't come
And
back
that's
and
it.
shoot them because he got the best of you.
And it's crazy, man. But one of the things that we're going to have on our show tonight with Peggy and with Lisette is we're going to talk about the things that are going on. And there's got to be some type of correlation between the two. Because usually violence comes about because of money. And usually money has to do with the drugs. So there's got to be something there. We're going to talk about that today. Anything else you want to hashtag? What else we want to hashtag? Anything
Hashtag, I
else?
love life.
Hashtag life is good.
Hashtag 2 weeks owning my Cadillac.
Hashtag 2 weeks owning the Cadillac. Hashtag 4 weeks and we'll be watching Cotto destroy Martinez.
Is
like
it 4 weeks? Oh, 4
weeks.
weeks from now.
4 weeks from
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah,
4 weeks
yeah.
from
Oh,
now. We'll be watching that. But that's what it is, man. And that's what I love about life is that there's so much to do. Chuck said it earlier. He hit it on the head. Exhale. When you want to shoot somebody, think about it. Exhale.
Why-
Relax. Calm down.
Why did,
No,
I,
it's the
why did I
reality
think
of it.
about Angela Bassett when he said that?
Waiting to exhale.
Yeah, she just started cutting her hair and freaking
Oh,
out.
yeah,
When he
yeah,
said
yeah,
exhale, I'm like,
yeah.
that scene
Nah.
just crossed my
Nah,
head.
we don't wanna go- we don't wanna
She
go
like
there.
cut her hair
She
away.
crazy. No, she
No,
crazy.
she flipped out.
Yeah, she flipped out. We don't wanna go
But
there.
have you seen her lately? I think she's like 50-something, almost 60. She
Looking
still
good?
looks amazing.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of women.
Amazing.
Yo, let me tell you something. Surgery and a lot of money, you're gonna look good till you're 90.
Yeah.
You're gonna look good
Yeah.
till you're 90. So it's all good. So
Yo, let me ask you something.
yeah.
If you had to do one woman, would it be Oprah or Joan Rivers?
I go with Oprah.
Because she got the money?
I go with Oprah. No, because at least I can relate to Oprah. Joan Rivers, what am I? gonna relate?
Okay. Here we go. One last one. Whoopi Goldberg. No, I can't even think of another one.
I was
I was gonna like Whoopi
No,
Goldberg.
because I was gonna say Whoopi Goldberg, unanimous.
You would
No, I'm kidding.
Really? Like, really?
I'm kidding. No, I'm being
Like,
sarcastic.
really?
Hashtag sarcasm.
Okay.
And on that note,
Okay, Whoopi or a man?
Whoopi.
Okay, because Whoopi looks like a man.
It's okay, but I'd rather go with Whoopi.
Just put.
I'd
Don't
rather
look
go
at
with
me.
Whoopi. I'd rather go with Whoopi. I don't know where that came from, but that's the beauty of our show.
No,
is that it
I
just,
thought about the age and like Joan Rivers. I mean, she has plastic
Joan
surgery
Rivers,
her
yeah, I
life
don't wanna talk
out,
about her.
and she's like
Nah.
what 70, almost 80.
yeah, she's got to be at least. At least.
She's got her face looking like this.
At least. So yeah,
She
we're
could
not,
blink with her lips.
we're not even going to go there. We're not going to go there. So on that note, we're going to move into our next segment, and what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of I'm going to do a little bit of directing live on air, because what we're going to talk about right now is something
Right now?
right now.
This here
minute,
right now.
right now.
This here right now.
This here right now. We're going to talk about boxing, but we're not going to talk about boxing. Y'all thinking we're going to talk about Mayweather? We're going to talk about no. We're going to talk about boxing that hits home. We're going to talk about a boxer that makes you want to go home after he hits you. We're going to talk about none other than Willie and Mongoose Jr., Monroe Jr., and his next fight
You were gonna
coming
say
up.
Junior Monroe.
Yeah, I was.
It
I
sounds like a
was.
high school,
I
Junior
was.
Monroe. But it's like,
Yeah.
I go to Monroe, but I'm in junior high.
Yeah,
so I'm in
no.
junior high, but I go to Monroe.
There's no junior high, high school about
No,
this.
just saying.
My man done graduated to college, Ivy League of boxing. That's where we're at right now.
I'm very proud
That's
of
where
him.
we're at right now.
Very proud of him.
we're gonna bring him up in a second. Before we do that, DJ, cue the music.
Oh, you're the worst.
Oh my
DJ.
goodness! See what happens on live TV.
You got to be from Detroit.
See what happens on live TV. the crazy thing. Hold up. You got to pose. Actually, no peace sign. Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
No peace sign. We boxing. All right. So.
Man, you put the Labatt's glue in there.
You came up and you said, you were like, yo, I was eating good. And I know that when you get into fight mode,
that's not even
the
part of your
eating is
diet.
no longer that good.
Did you just cheat? Did you just cheat?
No, I didn't cheat.
That's not cheat?
No, I had a Caesar salad with some grilled chicken.
Salad.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you good then. All right, so you good. You're eating healthy.
I snuck some of my kids macaroni and cheese. Just one bite.
Yeah, just one bite. But you have to.
Yeah, I bet you be sitting watching like,
it's like, you know what? You eat the salad. Let me get the macaroni and cheese. But no, definitely Rochester. Not only Rochester, because we got people watching everywhere. Right here, this is the man.
Willie Monroe Jr.
Willie Monroe Jr. Remember that name, because if you follow boxing, you already know the name. If you don't follow boxing, you're going to start following boxing. You're going to start finding out, especially in Rochester. And that's what I love about it the most, man, is that you rep your city proud. Right. You exude this boxing. You know, we were just talking about it earlier, but we're talking about Broner, we're talking about Mayweather, how they're considered a-holes, you know, because sometimes their persona comes across that way. But one thing I can honestly say, man, I'm Facebook friends with you. I've seen you. I've chilled with you. And I'm like, you know what? I've never gotten that from you. So why is it that as a boxer who's doing his thing, how do you maintain your pride, proud, and don't become that a-hole that everybody calls these guys?
I think a lot of it has to do with my upbringing. You know, my grandparents, my grandfather being, being Hispanic, my grandfather being black and Cuban, and my grandmother being from the South, and just that real humble,
I just heard, all I thought was good food right there. He said black, Cuban, and from the South. All I heard was food.
That's probably why I'm a middleweight right now. I could be a welterweight.
Yeah, I know, right? No doubt. But that's what's up, because, go ahead.
But it's just the upbringing, and I come from humble beginnings, you know, and a lot of people don't realize the same way God gave you something, He can take it away.
Amen.
So you have to be, conscious of that and understand that the gifts that God given us are not just ours, you know.
No doubt.
So if I could use my gift to draw people closer to me, I could draw people closer to God, and that's what I'm supposed to be doing.
And I see it. Amen, for real. Because I see that. I see that on your Facebook posts. I see that, man. I always see nothing but positivity.
Right.
I always see, even when you're trying to say, hey, look at me, you're still doing it with class.
Right.
You're letting people know this is what I do, and this is who I am,
Mm-hmm.
So with that said, who is Willie Monroe Jr.?
Start from the beginning.
Willie Monroe
I want to
Jr.?
know Can I just find out about you like about a year or two ago?
Right.
My man Julio put me on because I'm a boxing fanatic.
Right.
Let me throw a real quick story on my end. My boxing history goes way back when my parents, my father, when we was together. And I have no memory of my mother and father being together. Right. But my father was so much into boxing, and one time I was a baby, I had an ear infection, and my mom was like, we need to go to the hospital. We need to go. He's sick. My father's like, 1 more second. You're on the 10th round. Just hold on. I'm over here. They would told me the story, and I'm like screaming in pain, and my father's like, hold on. Like he wanted to see the fight.
Right.
I mean, remember back then, fights were on CBS, ABC, NBC, and all that stuff. They used to go 15 rounds.
Right.
So, I mean, I had to wait till the 15th round. That was Leonard.
And talking about that, who put me on was my man Don,
Right.
who I was telling you about. Okay. He's like, man, you got to see this kid spar. I think at that time, it had to be about 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you were a young buck. I don't know what gym it was at. I know it was one of the community centers.
Right.
One of the community centers. And he's like, yo, this kid is nasty.
How old were you when you started?
Nasty.
I started when I was 6.
Wow, that's the way to go.
6 years old. And kind of segueing into that whole who is Willie Monroe Jr. Right. Willie Monroe Jr. comes from a long line of boxers. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, my like I told you guys, that Cubano background, my great grandfather who was Cuban, and he raised all of his sons to be fighters. You know what I mean? And my grandfather is actually the mastermind behind the boxing in the Monroe family. Okay. And all of the brothers box, but
are they all here, by the way?
Some of them are here, some of them are still in Florida, some of them are like my Uncle Willie, who...
Were you born and raised here?
Yeah, I was born and raised here. All of my family on my grandfather's side from Florida. And my Uncle Willie is the one that actually took it the furthest. The Worm, that's my grandfather's little brother, and he was the first person to beat Marvin Hagler. And my grandfather named his firstborn son after his brother, who is my father. My father was top 10 middleweight in the 90s. And then I was named after my father, thus being Willie Monroe Jr.
No doubt.
And you know, a lot of people say, is he the third? I'm like, I'm not the third because my grandfather's name is not
Gotcha,
Willie
gotcha,
Monroe. But
gotcha.
you know,
That's what's up.
and now it's my turn.
That's what's up.
doubt.
And all of my cousins, I mean, like, one thing it's a joke everybody say about the Monroes is one of two things. They got good hair and they can fight. That's what they say about the Monroes.
Or hold up, they can sing.
Oh yeah, a lot of us
Or
sing.
they can
Yep,
sing
yeah, a lot
as well.
of us sing.
Because
so-
brothers, Trent.
Yeah, my brother. We were in a group called Signature, and we opened, you know, for Trey Songz twice. We opened for Jay Holiday.
And I'm a producer. I've been dying to look for a singer here.
Oh, you gotta give my brother.
Yeah,
You gotta give my
yeah,
brother
something
that.
out.
Yeah, man.
no doubt.
But real quick, you talked about Willie the Worm, your
Right.
uncle, right? So I got a little clip, real quick. Mike, can you play that clip? You gonna play that online? We ain't gonna be able to see it here, but I actually got a clip of him and Hagler
Right.
going at it.
Oh,
So
I
for
wanna
everybody that's
see
out
this.
there watching, go ahead, you can watch it. Once he plays it, we good. And
I think it's the third clip. That's the one when he lost.
Is that the one
Third
he
one.
lost?
Yeah, that's the one he
Okay,
lost.
well, it don't matter. Regardless,
Yeah, that's the one. Oh, okay.
yeah. So you,
Don't worry, we don't.
But still, you fight on the main stage, and as a boxer,
Right.
that's the dream, right? The
Right.
dream is to fight on that stage.
No doubt.
Right.
And so, with that said, what's your dream, bro? Like, what is Willie Monroe Jr.
I kid
want
you
to
not. When I'm getting ready, I'm like, I'm gonna ask him. I had a couple questions in my head. One was like, how old were you? And one of the other questions was like, same one.
Right.
What is not just your dream, but what is your realistic dream? Because we all want to be. If I was a boxer, I'm like, I want to be. I don't mean Floyd Mayweather, but realistically, you know, we're not all. You know, I mean, what is your goal in boxing? Before you walk away, what do you want to say? At least I walked away doing what I accomplished.
Okay. I'm gonna give it to you in two parts because I'm gonna give it to you in the part that what I wanted, and then after having, you know, heart to hearts with my grandparents, especially before I lost my grandfather, where my dream evolved to. So, you know, obviously, you know, you want a better life. You know, you want to be able to to make money off doing something you love. You know what I mean? Because I was told if you do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
Exactly.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, I mean, you make a living off doing something you love, and it's just something in me that I have to be one of the best athletes. I'm an athletic person.
Yeah.
I have to be one of the best athletes. To be known as one of the best athletes, and not only that, as a fighter. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, football players, baseball players, and basketball players, they get respect, but it's just something about being a fighter. That's like the ultimate man, you feel what I'm saying?
It's been around for centuries.
So, I mean, like, you know.
Did you know Lincoln was a boxer?
Lincoln, what, President Lincoln?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Bare Knuckles back in the day.
Oh, no, I didn't know
I
that.
didn't know that either.
That's
You
a
told
lot.
both of
Yeah,
us
yeah,
something
yeah.
right there. But
So I mean, just being a prime athlete and being a standout individual, and like I said, everything that comes along with it, the money, the clothes, the flashy, you know. But after having a heart to heart, my grandparents raised me, and I don't want to go too religious on you guys, but my grandmother told me she set it up like this. She said like, okay, this is you right here. These are your goals and dreams right here, the cars, the clothes, the la 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 la.
the normal.
And this is what God wants over here. So if you make yourself oblivious to everything here and just focus on what God wants,
He'll bless you with
everything in the middle and so much more fall in. So I took my eyes off of
the prize.
off the material prizes
stuff,
and
yeah.
focused on what does God want me to accomplish? Because at the end of the day, when God judges us, He's not going to say you made $1 million or you gave $1 million to a charity or you drove a Lamborghini. God is going to say, through your gifts and talents that I've given you, how many people did you tell about me? How many people did you bring to me?
Wow.
How many people did you use your story to inspire to bring them closer to me?
You're doing that right now.
And that's
You're doing that right now.
And I kept my story and that's why like in the interviews you hear me, I'm a little more open about what happened to me after the loss. I'm a little bit more open about my grandparents raising me, not being raised by my parents, the things that happened in my life. And a lot of people are like, well, I never knew you went through that. And to me it was just life growing up.
Hey, that's what it is.
But when you use your story to inspire other people, it's almost like older people when they don't want to take their medicine. You put it in their favorite food and let them take it.
Yeah.
So I'm giving people God's word through my life story. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm bringing people closer. So, you know, a few years back, especially after I suffered that first split decision loss.
Yeah, I know.
That's what gave me like a 180, and my grandmother said, look, this loss isn't a loss that's going to hinder you from being what God wants you to be. It's going to be a very intricate part of your story and influencing people. And she's like, isn't that what you want? And then, you know me, I'm a man. I wasn't smart. I trained too hard.
The judges were blind.
Yeah, you know. And it was a split decision, and I know they took it. My grandmother's just like, no, look, you know what I mean? What the devil meant for his destruction, God meant for his glory. So you take that in. So ever since that loss, and you know, I got back on my feet, and watching my kids grow and my family, and you know, my fiance, it allows me to have a better outlook on life because.
Little man's up killing the food over there now.
Oh, my son is.
He woke. I think he was sleeping. He was like.
Oh no! As soon as he smelled the food, he woke up. We were joking about that. As soon as he smelled the food, he woke up.
Nah, but yeah.
But I want much more than just, you know, wealth, because at the end of the, don't get me wrong, I want the wealth because you need money, you need that to survive. But at the end of the day, I want to leave something behind for my kids and my kids' kids and my kids' kids' kids to say, yo,
the way your grandparents lived.
Exactly. You know. And that's why you see, like on the left side of my trunks, on the left side of my trunks, I don my Cuban flag that's saying my grandfather's in the ring.
I see that, and I was like, mind you, I had a very rough night. I don't want to talk about, but let me tell you, I wasn't there, unfortunately, from the beginning.
Right.
But I was able to compose myself and come back out and watch the last round. And if you heard a loud whistle from the corner, that was me. I whistled
loud. I saw
loud.
you guys were right in my corner.
We were right in the front.
Yeah, we were right there. I would have been there, but like I said, I had to compose myself. You know, anyways, I mean, I had an episode, and I had to go outside for some air and some water. So I come back in. I said, I can't miss this fight. I want to see this fight. And I'm outside, like, when these guys coming out, is the fight over? Is the fight over? And I'm like, nah, he's still fighting. I'm like, really? I'm like, let me try to get back in there. And I still, like, right when the entrance is at, there's some ushers there.
Right.
And I started talking. I'm like, yo, he's still, oh my,
Doing his thing.
and then the fight ended, and then they announced your name. I was like, whistling like loud,
right now,
loud.
We went crazy, man. We went crazy. The fight was off the hook, but everything you just said, man, I respect that.
Thank you.
I respect that because we don't got enough people speaking like that.
Right.
You know, people look at it and they think church and they think, you know, religion. They think God can't come from someone that looks like us.
Right.
You know, they look at us and they think, oh, it's all going to be flash or it's all going to be this and that. No, yeah, we're going to give you flash because that's what we naturally do.
Right.
We don't know anything else. You know, we came from humble beginnings, so when we have it, we're going to let you see it. But at the same time, we know what made that possible.
Exactly.
You know, so I respect that. I respect that fully. You know, and I know that through knowing you, through knowing what you're doing.
I have a new higher level of respect for you because I met you over when Mercedes had the fight then, and you was over. I met you, and I met you another time. But you know, getting to sit down and talk with you, see where your head is at. That you just gave. A bigger. I mean, now it's like Willie Monroe all day.
Right. And the thing about it is that what he's talking about is the things that money can't buy. You know,
no doubt.
Another thing that he made a point of was keeping it simple. When you keep it simple, you
KISS,
stop focusing on all this crazy stuff. You realize that, oh, wait a minute, you know what? All I gotta do is do this.
Right.
Have my heart in it. You made a great point. Do what you love. You never work a day in your life. Yeah. You know, and that's how I feel when I go to work. That's how a lot of us do because that's what it is, the reality of it. So let me ask you a question, right? Because one thing, and I want to make sure you correct me. I was going to ask you before, but I didn't ask you. But last Monday, right? Friday you fought.
Right.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I leave work. I work at Time Warner.
You told me about this.
I leave Time Warner. I'm pulling out at about 5:30.
Right.
And I see somebody running down Mount Hope Avenue with a backpack on, with a mohawk. Was that not you or was that you? Because I could have sworn it was you.
Forget that. I want to know what's in a backpack. Maybe he was a runner or something.
But I know that you train religiously.
Right.
I know you go for these long runs. So I just wanted to ask, was that you?
That was my cousin. I know
that was your cousin.
That was my cousin Marcus Hall that fought.
That was Marcus. He was one of my students.
Oh, seriously? That's my little cousin.
And he just zipped by, and I'm like, I don't know if that was Willie or not, but I'm gonna ask him when I
my
see
cousin
him.
Marcus.
So, but that's what it is, and that's,
I didn't know that was your cousin.
Yeah, that's my little cousin.
Yo, with that said, what's a day of training like for Willie Monroe Jr.? Like, what's a day of training? What do you go through? What does it entail? Because I can't say that I would probably last around. Actually, you put out a challenge, $100 a round for sparring. I'm like, you know what? I'm good. I'll pay you $100 not to hit me. I'm good. So.
Oh yeah, that's my little cousin. Yeah. That was
So
my
when he was like 13,
Yeah,
I remember one time. Well, I'm sorry, but I
yeah,
remember one
I
time.
was
I was saying one of the because he was in the class and
Right.
stuff with us, and one time one of the staff he was like messing with him, you know, whatever. And I don't know what he did. One of these, boom, boom, boom. I'm like.
nah,
Was that fucking lightning?
Right.
What the hell was
Yeah,
that?
fast hands.
And that's the first time working with him all year that
Right.
I never, you know, I knew he was
Right.
boxing, but I never seen the hands.
Nah, my
and I'm like,
my
dude.
grandfather raised both of us to be fighters. We both, you know, by the time Marcus was about 3 or 4 years into his career, my grandfather was a little older. He couldn't go to the gym like that. So I took Marcus under my wing, and it was just me and him. He's my little cousin, but it's like he's my brother. Because, you know, he lost his mother at a young age.
Yeah, I remember
She
that,
was
I remember
killed. That's my dad's sister.
Okay.
So my grandparents took him and his older brother in, and we were all, like I said, everybody in the family fights. Even the girls fight.
Really?
The girls got hands, man.
So going back to his question, was a day of training.
So a day in training, man. I know you don't train in Rochester. I mean, I know you train in Rochester, but for a fight, you bounce out to Florida.
Right, go to Florida.
When do you go to Florida? You going to Florida soon?
Yeah, I leave Florida. I leave for Florida in 3 days.
In 3 days, so you'll be down in Florida. What is a day when you get down there and you working? What does a day look like? What does a day consist of?
Well, you know my trainer. It's broken up. When I'm here, my strength and conditioning coach, Lee Lucky Davis.
Yep.
Yeah, you guys know him. He
Yeah,
got the whole
Easy Work.
Easy Work movement.
Easy
Yes.
Work, I
You
know.
know, shout out to him, Harlem, Matt, everybody now.
That's what it
the whole
is.
team, man. I love those dudes. But I think what Lucky is the craziest because he's the strength and conditioning, and he's, oh my goodness. I mean, we wake up 5 in the morning, and we're at the gym by 5:30. I mean, anything consists of 3 to 4 miles, sometimes 5 miles, and a bunch of, you know, I don't lift weights. We don't work with weights. Work with some weights, like 10-pound weights, 12-pound weights, but I don't physically lift, you know, get up under a bar and push weights. But
It's endurance.
yeah, it's endurance, wind sprints, resistant bands. Then when I go down to Florida, Tony Morgan, you know, and that's when we kick up to the 3-a-days. So we'll get up in the morning and we'll run 5 miles, strength and conditioning. Then we'll rest, and then we'll go back to the gym around 4 o'clock, and that's geared all towards boxing, the pad work, the heavy bag work, the sparring, the speed bag, skipping the rope, all the definitive stuff you see in a boxing training regimen. Then at night, we'll either do more strength and conditioning or go for another run. And it's vigorous, man. But like I said, when I leave and get ready to go to Florida, you know, I get away from the everyday rigmarole of, you know, being at home, especially being in a big city like Rochester. When I go to, you know, a smaller town like Winter Haven in Florida.
Yeah.
It's a little more quiet, a little more laid back, and you have time to focus and gear your mind towards the task at hand, which is beating the crap out of, or outsmarting, or knocking out, whichever way you go about it,
That's
beating
what's
the
up.
next man.
That's what's up,
So
man.
it's very vigorous, though.
And I'm looking forward to that. And that's one thing that Mayweather pointed out
Right.
about Bradley.
Right.
When he said Bradley looks like he's lifting too much weight.
Too much weight.
He's trying to come out there looking good.
Yeah.
And he's not looking good.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's like, no, you know, and that's one thing that I can appreciate
Right.
with that. So let me ask you a question though. There are young kids out here, right?
Right.
There are young kids out here that want to follow Willie Monroe Jr.'s footsteps. There are people out here that want to box, young,
Okay.
older. What advice do you have to give to them?
Number
Can I
one,
start at my age?
Besides
I mean,
training
how old are
hard. Besides training hard, you're not. You're
Saying
not.
though, man.
Keep
I'm
doing what
saying
you're doing
though.
over there. You're not. It's not gonna happen.
38, man. I
So-
just put it right there.
So-
He's like, how old? That's the first thing you got to ask. Like, how old are you? Because, dude, you're far from it.
So what advice do you have to give to up and coming, a young boxer? What advice would you give them?
not just to any boxer, anybody who have any, you know, endeavors in what you want to do in life. Number one, hard work and dedication is key. You only get out of what you put into it. You know what I mean? So you have to be willing to go above and beyond, because there's so many people that are willing to go above and beyond. You have to be hungry.
Yep.
You have to want it, and like you have to love what you do and do what you love. And like we said earlier, if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
Exactly.
So
Sacrificing the fun times,
yeah,
the summers and all that.
You have to sacrifice. You know what I mean? I'm gonna miss Mother's Day. You know, I'm gonna miss the Lilac Festival.
You're gonna miss your own birthday sometimes.
Sometimes you miss your birthday. For my birthday, I turned 27. I went to the gym, and my birthday present to myself was to do 27 rounds. So we did 27 rounds straight in the gym. Yeah,
Really?
Me and Lucky went to the. Me and Lucky, my strength and conditioning coach, went to the gym, and we did 27 rounds straight on the heavy bags and everything.
So if there's anything that you guys could take out from that is if you want to be rewarded, you got to put in the work.
And gear your life. You have to gear your life in that direction. With me, it comes discipline, and faith and everything.
Absolutely.
And I try not to push religion on people, but at the same time, I do have to speak because Jesus Christ is who I believe in.
Absolutely.
So that's where a huge part of my motivation and faith is.
Absolutely.
And just and believe in yourself, because you're gonna have a lot of naysayers. You know what I mean? Even at the level I'm at right now, I still have naysayers. Teddy Atlas, who's like the guru of ESPN boxing, and every time I fight on ESPN, he has, he either wants me to lose or I'm not doing good enough. But at the end of the day,
I think he spoke kind of good about you last time.
Well, yeah, the last time he spoke.
He had no choice.
Yeah.
But you gotta watch the other fights to know what he's talking about.
And no disrespect to him. I mean, he talks, from the heart and what he feels. You can't get mad at another man.
He's kind of earned that right though, too. Like been around forever.
Yeah, let him.
But you know what? If I was a sports athlete in any spot, like today, was it today? Yesterday about Charles Barkley talking about the Lakers and how they suck right now. They're garbage.
Right.
That would.
I'm talking about my team though, man.
I'm just saying that also. But I'm just saying that would be like food for me to give me that energy to be like, you know what, I'm gonna prove you and everybody wrong.
No doubt. But talking about that, I think that's what you went through, right? Because I remember Teddy Atlas talking about the fact, the first fight, you're in Indiana, you're already in enemy territory. You're fighting the first round of this Boxino tournament. And Teddy Atlas says, you know what? I like Willie Monroe Jr. He's like, I like him, but he lost a split decision to a boxer that he should have never lost to, so I don't have high hopes for him in this tournament. And then you beat homeboy's butt. You whooped his ass. Let's just play the way it is. You whooped his ass. Then you come back a couple weeks ago, Corona. Once again, he's talking slick like, yeah, but Kovalenko, he's going to come in, he's going to do his thing. And then you, once again, do what you do. And after that, he said it. He was like, you know what? I got to take a step back. He's doing what he's doing. He's using that jab. He's fighting that southpaw fighter. You know that. And then now, and I guarantee you, next fight, he's going to be on. He's going to be like, all right, Willie Monroe.
Sometimes it takes a little longer, and it's kind of sad for the fans when they talk like that, because the fans almost depend on the commentators to allow them to know what's actually going on in the fight. And a lot of time they're way left field from what's really going on in the fight. Like they were like, he's defensive minded. He's safety first. He hits and moves. Can somebody? They use a phrase like, "Will Kovalenko be able to catch him because he's going to run?" I said, well, it's not running. It's called smart boxing. The key in boxing is to hit and not get hit.
Stick a move.
I tell everybody all the time, you don't rob the bank and sit and wait for the cops to come, do you? You leave. Get your money and you bounce.
And you go.
You feel what I'm saying?
And that's beautiful analogy.
What do you feel about your next opponent? I mean, what do you think about him? Not your fight with him, but what do you feel about him as a fighter? And if and when you win, which to us, we're all behind you, but about this tournament, what do you win? Is it a title shot? Is it a title? What is it? I mean, for people that don't know.
Well, there's going to be 3 belts on the line that night, thanks to our promoter, Artie Palullo with Banner Promotions. The NABA, the NABF, and the Boxino title. And what's good about that is the NABA and the NABF are up under the WBO. So it puts you right in the top 10, and the winner out of me and Brandon Adams, it puts us in the top 5.
Okay.
So they'll probably have, the winner will probably fight one more fight, just another fight. and then get a shot at one of those world titles, whether it's on the Showtime side against one of the middleweights, or on the HBO side against one of the middleweights, in which I'm the smallest guy in the tournament. So I don't know whether I'm going to stay at 160 or go back down to 154.
Okay.
Because I normally fight at 154. So I don't know if I'm going to fight at 154 or 160. You know what I mean? It depends on where the money's, where's the best opportunity for Willie Monroe. The thing is I'm thankful to God to be able to have the leisure of having a choice of saying, do I want to fight here for this money or do I want to fight there for that money?
And that's a beautiful thing. And I know that, you trained Cotto.
Right. Yeah, Miguel Cotto.
Oh, you trained with him?
Yeah.
Oh, you trained with Cotto.
Cotto.
Yeah, for Pacquiao.
No, for Austin Trout.
Austin Trout.
Yeah, they had me for
then,
Austin Trout.
Yeah, because
but then
what's
you
his
kind of
face?
switched sides.
This
Then you
guy.
kind of switched
Oh,
sides.
then I went with Austin
But
Trout.
then you went with Austin Trout, which I don't blame you.
But Trout was getting ready to fight Ederson de Lara,
Yeah.
which is a really good fighter.
I
It's
like
a Cuban
him.
fighter. I like Lara, but hey, when the opportunity calls and they offer that money, and you like,
no doubt.
And
I know Roy Jones Jr.
Oh, yeah,
that's your man.
That's my man.
That's your man right there.
That's
I actually was
my
reading an
number one.
Instagram post you put up
Right.
where Roy came on
Yeah, he
and was
came,
like,
yeah.
"Yo, do your
Right.
thing." Austin Trout commented on
Yeah,
that too.
Austin Trout
was like,
commented.
"Yo, do your
Yeah.
thing. Stay humble. Do what you do." And I'm
Right.
like, you know what? That's respect. When you're getting respect from those that most of us respect in boxing.
Right, exactly.
So I appreciate that. Running a little short, so I want to make sure May 23rd. If you cannot make it down to Verona, New York, which is only about 90 miles that way, on the Thruway, come down, support. Ringside tickets. Ringside tickets are only going for $60.
That's
So there's no excuse
That's
for you
selling
not
quick,
to be
too.
down there. They're selling out. Support local, hometown, homegrown talent. Make sure you come out. And if you can't make it, there's this little network called ESPN. You can watch it at home, Friday Night Fights. So
Well, that's
either
how we
way,
got caught up.
you make sure you watch that. Willie Monroe, bro, it's been an honor.
Thank
It's been
you.
a privilege, and it's been my
Pleasure's all
pleasure.
mine.
You said thank you to me, but I say thank you to you.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for coming through.
Thank you. I see you got your Team Monroe shirt on too, man. That's
What? Come on now. We gotta
for
represent.
sure. I gotta get you
We
one,
gotta
man.
represent.
I see you
That's
got
what
Dude,
we
give me
do.
one. I will wear it
I
all
got you.
day.
That's
I
what we
got
do. Oh
you.
yeah, no, believe me, that's all about
As soon
representing.
as Julio heard about it, he was like, "Oh, I need him."
As soon as Craig, I'm like, yeah, let's play that. Let's play the video, little workout real quick. Check it out.
So we just doing some
You
like
put it
strength
in?
and conditioning stuff. Some stuff to keep my
Now,
explosive
watch
muscles
over there.
going.
Like, what-
Technical guy.
Okay. Is that the one with Lucky?
Got my strength and conditioning training.
Oh, okay.
Already ran 5 miles, so this is all after a 5-mile run.
Don't put Lisa next to me. She starts smacking.
Don't put him next to me.
What? Really?
We got 15 minutes.
50 minutes. Like,
I said, okay,
we done an hour already?
Yeah.
I knew she was gonna sit there.
Mike, are we back on?
Mike, we're back on?
All right. We're on? All
where's
right.
my beer?
So now we're back. And we're gonna kind of switch up a little bit. We're gonna take a picture real quick, everybody. And now we're gonna switch up a little bit. We're gonna kind of shift gears a little bit because we're gonna go from talking about boxing, talking about our local talent, and now we're gonna actually go and segue into somebody who is really doing stuff locally, who's really doing their thing to make sure that our community is a better community. So with no further ado, I would like to introduce Peggy Carbonell, Lisette Castro from Trillium Health Outreach Project, and they're going to tell us a little bit about what they're doing to help our community to stop the spread, and not only stop the spread, but to help those who can't help themselves. that's what they're here to do today. So, ladies, welcome.
Thank you.
Tell us what you do.
Synchronize us?
What do you do?
Yes, we practiced for years.
What do you guys do?
So basically, our agency is called Trillium Health. We work out of one of the satellite offices called Health Outreach Project. But Trillium Health is a three-dimension of care to everyone, including primary care, supportive services, and community outreach.
Okay.
And under that falls, and I wrote them down so I wouldn't forget them.
Absolutely.
The Syringe Exchange Program, which is our program, the Health Outreach Project.
Okay.
Personalized primary care, specialized healthcare for LGBT communities, women's health, behavioral wellness and counseling, HIV specialty care, STD and rapid testing, and on-site pharmacy.
Okay.
So basically, our program is a syringe exchange program for active drug users to prevent the spread of HIV and AIDS. We've been open since 1994. We have over 4,000 clients. About 750 clients are still active injectors. The majority
Is this citywide?
well,
suburban
city
and city.
and
Suburban?
4,000.
Yeah, total since the program started. Like I said, 750 are still active.
Blew my mind with that number. I thought you would have said like 200 or 300. But
I'm gonna blow your mind a little more. 62% of my clients are white, non-Hispanic. We've seen a huge increase in the last few years of young white injectors start popping pills from grandma's cabinet or mom's cabinet. Then that gets too expensive to buy. What's a cheaper alternative to opiates is heroin. $10 a bag versus 20, 30, 40 some dollars a pill.
Yep.
How does this Molly thing? I was talking to Lou Aponte last week before I went to your housewarming, and we were just talking about things, and he came up with this Molly. What is Molly? Does that fit into your picture? This Molly stuff? I mean, I don't even know what this
Not
is.
so much in my program. However, we do have educators that do educate on Molly.
What is a Molly?
Molly is also considered MDMA, and it's got this big long M name.
Yes.
It's like a little. It's
And
like,
it's ingested.
it's more like ecstasy. It's more
It's
like that.
like
It has
ecstasy.
nothing to do with injecting. Nothing to do with
Right.
whatsoever.
And the difference between Molly and heroin is addicting. It's physically addicting, it's mentally addicting, and it is on the rise here in our community, in the outside counties, and one of the major things we wanted to talk about was opioid overdose prevention. Last month, we lost 8 clients to overdoses. This year so far, there have been 51 deaths.
Wait. We're only in freaking April. May.
Exactly.
That's how serious it is.
Compared to 11 in 2001 and 29 in 2012, 65 all of last year. And we do hand out Narcan kits, which reverses the effects of an opioid overdose.
Okay.
So if anybody has family members or knows somebody that injects drugs, especially opiates, they need this. 14 clients, Hispanic clients last week said they reversed an overdose with the use of this. So imagine that number I gave you, 51, would have climbed a lot higher if we didn't
than
have
that.
this.
And I'm going to be honest with you, and this is something that I really, don't. When Peggy reached out to me, it was like, well, we're doing this. The reason why I was so passionate about it and wanted to make sure is because I've actually had to watch my father overdose on heroin. And I've had to be the one that calls the ambulance. And I'm 9 years old, having to knock on neighbor's house, like, call the ambulance, call the ambulance. I know when the eyes roll to the back of the head, sitting there and I experienced that at such a young age that I'm like, you know what, this is important because this is not something that only hits, like you said, most of the non-Latino people, but we're all affected by this one way or another.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's important. So what do you think is going on right now that so many people are going towards that?
Well, with the youth, it's more the pills, the over-prescribing of the medication by the physicians, which is leading to more pills out on the street.
I mean, do you feel like they're segueing into that?
Yes,
somehow?
definitely.
What, through weed?
No. A lot of them, when we do intake, when we ask them about how they got into heroin, they don't say, I smoke weed, I did coke. They went straight to the needle.
And that's,
or use a pill first and then went to the needle.
And that's
No weed at all.
And that's the huge difference. I've been here 16 years. Peggy's been here 14 years. And when we first started, it was mostly Latinos. Mostly Latinos that have been using for years, who started off on weed, then to coke, then to heroin, sniffing, then injecting. This young crowd is bypassing weed, cocaine, they're going straight to the opiate pills to the heroin. Huge difference
Totally
from the
different.
crowd before.
That's
And
crazy.
you know, with heroin isn't a drug that you could take today, tomorrow, and then okay, I'm never going to touch it again. That's
brain-
a physically and mentally addicting drug.
They
And-
say, I don't mean to cut you off, but they say that once you take a hit of heroin, your chemistry in your brain changes permanently.
Right, and it connects to your opioid receptors.
Yeah, yep.
So when you see somebody out there and you say the so-called fiend or the so-called drug addict, yo, you don't live their shoes. Heroin is a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week addiction, and drug treatment in Rochester sucks because we have one detox program,
And it's always packed.
and it's
No,
always
no,
packed.
it's SBH Syracuse.
Oh, well, I'm talking
Yeah.
about methadone
Wait,
program.
isn't that the one over in Parkridge?
No.
No.
Parkridge has one, right? That one's
Parkridge
always
has
full.
a chemical dependency program, but it's an inpatient program.
Okay.
Okay.
So
For
when you're talking
detox.
about heroin, you need to be medically detoxed.
Yep.
As I stated earlier, I have 750 active clients. Peggy, how many beds do they have in SBH?
Maybe like 8 or 9.
Wow.
No, 30.
No, in SBH.
SBH. They got like 32 something beds.
But even though you're talking about
I have 750
50,
clients.
yeah. So you're talking about
32 beds.
728
What's
short.
the average time for someone to actually get it out of their system?
Got a month?
Well,
Oh, to
these
out
they
the
do for 5 to 7 days
So
at
if you feel like
SBH.
it's really out of the system, they can. If
But they gotta
want to-
continue.
The initial withdrawal is 5 to 7, but they still
5 to 7
suffer
what?
the
Days.
Oh, okay.
They still suffer the night tremors for years on end after that, the anxiety that comes from that, the depression. Because remember, it connected to your opioid receptors in your brain, and it changed your whole.
I
fix.
you know, like I had a question in my mind. I had a couple questions for William Monroe. I had one question for them. Any success stories?
Oh yeah,
Oh, we have a lot of success stories.
yeah.
Tell me one of them, no names. Just give us one that really sticks in your head.
Which one?
Which one?
One
I
that
have
you look
one
at this
now.
person to this day and like, oh my gosh, you would never know that this person was like this.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have one that I did when I first started, when the main class was open. It took me like 3 or 4 times to get him in. And now he is a counselor at a rehab facility, but not in Rochester.
Wow.
So he's still doing good.
But part of our success that we also count as a success is how many people were we able to maintain HIV negative
Right, that's
because
what I
of
mean.
our program. And when HIV first came out, especially in Monroe County, the infection rate because of injection drug use for HIV positives was 30-some%. It is less than 7% in Monroe County, so the exchange really does work.
Beautiful thing.
As long as they use it, it does work. And trust and believe when I tell you that 90 or 95% of our clients want to get clean. They do. You might see them on Clayton, you might
Well,
see them
there's
on
no
Joseph,
detox.
but in all honesty,
It's hard.
it's either insurance barriers,
Yep.
program barriers.
Yep.
You need an address. If you're homeless, where's your address? Oh, DSS, I need your address to send you this for your Medicaid. Well, I'm homeless. And then when they do get in a program, if they're homeless, okay, 5 to 7 days, you've been using heroin 10 years. What's 5 to 7 days? And then after the 5 to 7 days, where they send you back? Open door mission?
Yeah.
Back to the street.
And you're back on the
And
street.
so what's happening?
use
It's a
again.
vicious revolving
So
door.
what do you think that we need right now? What do you think is if we had this one thing? Obviously we need many things, but if you had to pick one thing to really help turn this whole epidemic around, what would it be?
Education.
And for the ones that are beginning, that are using, but the one for using, we need a detox.
For using,
More
yeah,
detox.
we need more.
More detox.
But more
Facility.
education.
Yeah.
to
Tons of
prevent-
education at home because you see billboards, don't drink and drive, don't
Right.
drink, marijuana, campaigns and stuff like that. When have you ever seen a billboard that says don't chew heroin, it can kill you, and it is
Right.
physically and mentally
You
addictive?
ever thought about doing like that Scare Straight type of program? Take some kids from some outer suburban programs and bring them back into the hood and see, you could be like this if you don't get your shit together,
That's what I did with my kids.
That's-
I did with
Like
my
kids
kids.
Some of these,
And I'll be
I
honest,
hear a lot of it
I've
with the
done it.
suburbs,
I'll
man.
be honest, I've done it. I remember when my daughter was